Hi guys, Jen here from Team NISA, and this afternoon on this snowy day in January, the last day of January, I'm talking to you guys about struggle. And what exactly is your struggle? I have a suggestion for you. So for those of you logging on live or coming on anytime, just share this right away with your friends because you are going to want to hear what I have to share today. We have been talking about struggle. And struggle is something, first of all, that's better to admit you're going through. It's better to go through with friends. So here's what I'm going to do with you guys. I have a stack of books in front of me, and we're going to talk about what kinds of struggles you might possibly be going through, and I'm going to share with you my favorite books. Now, I have not read all of them, but they are in my library, either to be read or that I have completed. Thank you so much for logging on. If you do come on live, go ahead and say hello in the comment section so I can tell that you're joining me on this snowy Tuesday afternoon. Okay, so here is the first struggle. Do you struggle with clutter? I do. Hi, Lynn. So if you struggle with clutter, you may feel stress and overwhelm when your life is out of order. So what can you do about that? You can tidy up. You can tidy up. This book is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Now, I have heard that this book is better on audio because it's written, I think it's from, Japanese. It's from Japan. So the writing is a little bit different and a little bit tricky to get through, but I do understand that this is a very good book for teaching you how to systematically declutter your home. So if your house and your clutter and your mess is stressing you out, Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and you may want to look for that on Audible. If you struggle with habits and knowing that you have things in your life you need to change, what's important to me is to understand like the science behind it and why is it so hard to stay to get on track to start a new habit, whether it's lifestyle or nutrition or whatever it is. So the book I have to share for that would be Smart Change. Now, this book was really interesting to me at the beginning because he really did talk about kind of the science and why habit change, like how your mind really works, and why it's so difficult and how you need to set up triggers and repeat things over and over, put things in your environment that will cue you to make a change. So Smart Change by Art Markman, if you struggle with habit change and needing to understand how to make habit changes stick. If you are a mom or a dad who struggles with your patience, with your children, I highly recommend this book, Yell Less, Love More. This one was suggested to me by a friend. It's actually a challenge, and it's helpful to go through any challenge where you need accountability with a friend. So I encourage you to get an accountability partner always if you're looking for making changes. But this book is written by a mom with four boys, I think. And again, this was just, she gives you real life examples and tools and suggestions for how to yell less and be more patient with the little people in your life. So that was a very, very, very good book. If you struggle with consistency, with doing something enough, understanding that it's the small decisions that you make every day in your life that really will reap benefit for you. If you're struggling with understanding that why you cannot move forward, then I highly recommend, there's two books. This one is called The Slight Edge. The other one is called The Compound Effect, and both of them are very similarly based, that it is you're either on a success curve or a failure curve. You're either making small decisions in your everyday life that are going to move you forward or that are going to keep you standing still. So if you're struggling with where you're at in your life and needing to maybe reconsider the small decisions you're making, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, or The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. If you are struggling with planning, if you're at a place in your life where you're not happy with what direction you're going, if you feel like you're drifting, because you don't have a plan, there's a couple resources available. For one, Chalene Johnson's Push is a book that kind of helps you get organized in your life. She's the one that first started me thinking about what are your priorities and where are you focusing your time and who are you giving your energy and effort and attention to, and is it the right amount in the right proportions. Another book that's very good for that I just read is Living Forward. This one is by Michael Hyatt and Daniel Harkavy. I actually got this book when I was at Smart Success Live, the live event in California I went to in March, last March. So Chalene recommended this book. Michael Hyatt basically was one of the speakers there. This is very similar to kind of setting your priorities and setting a plan, like understanding that if you don't take time to do the work, which most of us don't, to literally consider how you feel in the certain accounts or areas of your life and rate them, and then do something each and every day to start putting the right amount of attention and time into those accounts, setting goals, taking time out to write things out so that you see them, looking at that on a regular basis. Like, this is a very good book for getting your life together so that you stop drifting. Okay, so that is Living Forward. If you are struggling with like routine and feeling like, again, like every day is the same and you have no sort of direction and you're not quite sure what your purpose is or why you're here or you're drifting through your days and you're not accomplishing anything, and each year starts over and you start New Year's resolutions that fall off in February. If you want clear-cut direction on some highly applicable or implementable tools, I would recommend The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. This is, it talks about the power of waking up early. For those of you that know me, you know I don't usually do that, never did that in the past, but how when you take the time to focus your attention on specific activities in the morning, journaling, setting goals, speaking to yourself in a positive voice, visualizing what you want that future to look like, and then get your body moving in the morning. If you take time to take care of you in the morning, it sets, like, you'll just start knocking your goals off. So this was a fabulous book. And the other thing that's so cool about this book is he literally has like motivational and inspirational quotes throughout. Like, this was one of my absolute favorite books until I read my most recent one. So that one's coming up. So Miracle Morning, if you need to get your mornings on track. I have a few books. Some of these I haven't gone all the way through, but I'll share them with you if you want a little direction with nutrition. And again, this is very, very specific. It's a very big topic, and certain people struggle with areas more than other. One book that I recommend actually to a lot of my patients as a physical therapist who suffer with joint pain and inflammation and migraines, perhaps depression, for unexplained, suspected unexplained reasons. No Pain, No Gain is a very good book. It's by Dr. Peter Osborne. A lot of these authors that I'm sharing next fall in the category of functional medicine, which is, I think, an up-and-coming, it's been around a long time, but I think the trend is moving in the direction of we need to understand what's going on with our food and how it is impacting our whole system. And a lot of people find that when they when they start paying attention to what they're putting in their body, they start feeling different, whether or not they have a diagnosed allergy or sensitivity or intolerance. This is a very interesting concept, a little bit controversial maybe, but No Pain, No Gain. Another person that I follow regularly is Dr. Mark Hyman. This book is, he's actually a Cleveland Clinic functional medicine doctor. For those of you that live in the Cleveland area, he has a YouTube channel. You can follow him on YouTube. Eat Fat, Get Thin. This book, again, I haven't dove into it very far yet. However, the concept is we perhaps have been brainwashed into thinking in the 80s and 90s that we needed to fear fat. In fact, when they removed fat from the diet, they added things like high fructose corn syrup and artificial sweeteners and colors and flavors and modified our foods, and we're getting ourselves in a great big epidemic in our country. So Eat Fat, Get Thin is a very good book. Dr. Mark Hyman, I recommend him. And why we need the fat. We need to not fear the fat. interestingly enough, even for runners, endurance runners, there's a shift in perhaps we shouldn't be carb loading, but maybe we need to be eating that omega-3 fatty acids and high-fat foods to sustain us longer for those runs. Another functional medicine doctor that I follow and have his book is Dr. Josh Axe. His book is called Eat Dirt. This one is on the to-do list to read, but this one talks about leaky gut. And again, in the functional medicine world, it's basically talking about how your stomach is the gateway to your body, and if our food system has been altered so that our stomach is no longer intact, things are getting out into our bloodstream that shouldn't be, and we're having these conditions and pain and inflammation that we didn't have in the past, and is going unchecked, perhaps by traditional medicine. If you struggle with failing, if you struggle with taking a step to move yourself forward and change or believe that you can or should reach your goals, another great book that I read, or actually I listened to, it was Fail Forward by John C. Maxwell. And he was, I took a bajillion notes on that book, just on getting out of your own way. And once you understand that failure is part of the process and that's how you learn and grow, you need to not be afraid of failing, but embrace it and learn from it. Fail Forward is a very good book, as is many of the books written by John C. Maxwell. Okay, you guys all know I follow Chalene Johnson. I listen to her podcast. I've also started listening to Andy Stanley, Your Move. There's just a plethora of podcasts that you can subscribe to. What's the one I want to tell you guys about? By Brendon Burchard. It's called The Charged Life. I highly recommend that one because my absolute all-time favorite book I've ever read now in my entire life is called Life's Golden Ticket. It's by Brendon Burchard, who has that podcast called The Charged Life I just told you about. You guys, this book it's about second chances. We all need second chances, and we all need to perhaps analyze the themes in our life, the things in our life that we've been through that perhaps have impacted us in such a way that have formed our beliefs about the world, about relationships, that maybe we are still holding on to, only they no longer serve us. So I highly, it's fictional, it's phenomenal, it's a fast read, and if you are struggling with something in your life and you may not even be sure what it is, you're just not happy about where you are at, I highly recommend Life's Golden Ticket by Brendon Burchard. Those are my top books for you guys and my top resources for personal development if you're struggling in an area. If I missed a topic and you want some help on how to get your mind on track and get yourself on track in your health and fitness and your finances, right? Dave Ramsey is a phenomenal person to follow for your finances. There's literally something that you can put into your head to start changing the way you are thinking and behaving and reacting and what you're getting out of your life. There are resources available for every aspect of your life. Please share this with your friends. If you need help with a recommendation for a book or a podcast or an audible that'll help get you out of the rut that you're in, that'll help you overcome your struggles, I'd be happy to help you find one that is going to help you overcome your struggle. Thank you guys so much for watching. Lynn, you go have a great day. And until next time, Jen here from Team NISA. Have a great day.